Hey guys, I'm John Garage, and today officially marks 1 year since I started this whole EDC YouTube channel journey, or whatever you want to call it, and so I thought today would be a great, perfect time to kind of go over the top 7 lessons that I've learned over the last year of doing all this stupid stuff. So let's just dive right in with number 1. The first lesson I've learned is that I greatly prefer to use a multi-purpose, multi-tool, if you will, over just carrying like something that only does one thing. Case in point is this here is a flippy dippy knife, which is cool. You know, I bought way too many different kinds of knives and stuff because I thought like, hey, you know what, I could be a knife guy too. But I really just found like I didn't care so much about the things that a lot of these big knife guy YouTube channels, or you know, just knife guy people in general, like to always talk about. You know, the blade shape, the type of steel it's made out of, just, you know, the mouthfeel, if you will. I didn't really care about any of that. So what I really gravitated towards was more like this Byberry 2056. This is a CJRB Pyrite, by the way, but the Byberry 2056 is very cool because it also has like a fairly flippy dippy blade. You know, you can just pull it out like that or whatever, but then it comes with a whole crap load of other things. So like, you get a full-size 1/4-inch bit driver, you get a can opener and bottle opener, you get scissors, which you can also open with one finger, and you know, it's just really handy because there are a lot of times when I'm like, hey, you know, I could use a knife or I could use some scissors, and it didn't really matter which, and so it's cool to just be able to have the option of like, hey, I'm gonna flip out this pair of scissors and I have that just when I need it. But with a knife, all you can do is you flip out a knife, and that's all you get. And the other thing too is like, you know, I've said it before, but what's more intimidating? Like someone's has something hanging off their sleeve and you're like, oh, hey, I'll cut that off. Give it to me. Give it to me. Or is it nicer to come up and be like, hey, buddy, I see you have a little cord hanging off your shirt there. Do you mind if I snip it off with my nice little handy multi-tool? I'd prefer that second guy coming at me 10 times out of 10 over, you know, Mr. Knife guy. So I don't think it takes up that much more room. It might be a little bit heavier, but like truly you just get infinitely more utility out of these things. You know, it's just, I prefer having something where it's all in one tool and I can just pull it out quickly, and you know, mostly one hand, the things that really matter. Gives you a lot more utility than just having a knife, which, you know, I'm not trying to dump on the people that love having knives. I think they're cool. I wish I did use them more, but I always feel like I'm missing out by not carrying like a multi-tool. The second lesson I've learned is that my EDC, or everyday carry as they call it, it will fill up whatever space I give it. And by that I mean, if I give it a big old monstrosity pocket pouch like this, you better believe I'm gonna fill up every single slot with it, and it's gonna weigh too much, and then I'm gonna end up not taking it home. To get around that, I only let myself carry itty bitty little pocket pouches where I can't cram like a whole bunch of stuff in here. This is a Kosebate pouch, which I've had from like very early on before I started trying out all these bigger ones, and every time I just kept coming back to the Kosebate. It's this cool little wallet type thing. I put in a pen, a flashlight, pop this open, have some pills and paper in here, you know, a little screwdriver, and the nice F12 little multi-tool. And like truly, this thing right here is, to me, a fully fledged little EDC kit for, I don't know how much it would cost, but you know, really this is all I need, like going around just doing whatever I want to do. And it helps me avoid my pockets from like bulging out really bad, and I never feel the need to like leave it at home because like, oh, well, I don't want to take this big giant thing out here. And I think the issue with when you start getting bigger pouches, it's easier to put more and more things in there, but then the more things you have in it, the less likely you are to want to take it with you because it's just kind of a burden, and makes your pockets look stupid. I have so many right now, but I'll find a use for them somehow. Alright, number 3, and this might be kind of a difficult one to describe, but I wrote down here, don't take too much, but also don't take too little. And it kind of feeds into number 2, like I was just talking about there, is like, the less you have with you and the less you feel it on you, the more likely it will be that you want to take it with you. You know, you want something like unobtrusive and just goes with you and you don't even feel it there. But you also don't want to go too far that way and end up just taking like absolutely nothing. And I feel like that's kind of the way that people that just take the knife with them or whatever is like, okay, yeah, I have this knife, but now I need to pry something open, or I need to unscrew something, or I need scissors instead of a knife. And it's like, well, you're kind of screwed there because you just only went with, you know, a little knife. So what I like to say is try and have the minimum needed to do the maximum. And by that, you know, like I also was talking about here, is like this can basically do everything. It has a plier tool, it has a file, scissors, a knife, a flashlight. It has, I think, everything really except for, no, it has everything. It might not be the most robust thing, but it, you know, a little screwdriver here. It just, for me especially, where I'm not using this for like a construction job or something like that, it will tackle anything I need it to, like in my day-to-day life, whether it's at home or I'm going out and about or whatever. It's like, this will do it all. I've solved my EDC, honestly, but any less than this and I start kind of getting rid of things that might be good to have, like, oh, I don't have a flashlight anymore, I don't have a pen, which is also multi-purpose, and I can put 1/4-inch bits in there, by the way. Oh, I don't have my pliers, I don't have my scissors, things like that. Is like you start taking away utility that is just for the sake of like, oh, it's slightly, you know, it's like a couple ounces less that I have on me, and it's like, but that could really bite you in the butt when you're out there trying to solve one of these issues, and you would really wish that you had put more in your pocket. You know, so try and find that sweet spot where you don't feel like, oh, I'm going to be totally unprepared and naked out there in the concrete jungle, or the jungle, if you will. Try and find, you know, what's needed to make you feel like, yeah, I could probably do 90% of things. And if it's any of that 10%, well, it's time to call in the big guns anyway. And like, nobody should have to be that prepared for something. So try and find that. All right, number 4 is that I enjoy budget multi-tools way more than I enjoy the premium ones, and there's a lot of reasons for that. For instance, here's it's a Byberry 2058 or something like that. I hate their naming scheme. And here's a Leatherman Wave Plus. This one is, I think you can catch it on sale for like 40 bucks or so. It's the weird titanium one. You can find cheaper ones that aren't titanium, so like, don't spend the money on the extra titanium when non-titanium will do just fine. But then here's the Leatherman Wave, which I think it's between 120 and 150 bucks. And do you want to take a wild guess at which one I have used a lot more? You don't have to, because I'll tell you. It's the Byberry, and that's because it's, you know, 30 or 40 bucks or whatever I just said earlier. But, you know, it does everything a Leatherman can, and I think in a few ways it does better, because you can actually put in 1/4-inch bits instead of the stupid Leatherman proprietary flat bits, which I just don't like them. I don't have to worry about dropping it somewhere, because, you know, I'd rather be out 30 bucks versus 120 to 150. And, you know, in all my use of them, it's like these things have stood up great. Again, I haven't extensively tested a Leatherman Wave, but like just from opening and closing it and everything, it's like, honestly, I prefer these kind of cheaper budget ones more. Like, they just open a lot better, I think. You don't have to spend nearly as much time working them in and everything. Like with this, it didn't take any time, really. I might have like unscrewed or greased something up, but then it was like flipping it open like a pair of nunchucks or something. A butterfly knife would make more sense there. You know, if you think, yeah, you want to get one of these beefy plier-based multi-tools or whatever, it's like, get one of the cheaper ones first and see if you actually use it. And if you figure out like, oh, it's too heavy for my pocket, or like, I just don't really want to have it with me or whatever, it's like, well, at least you're out only 30 bucks instead of 5 times that. All right, number 5 is that EDC can be a lot of trial and error before you figure out what actually works for you as an individual. You might watch all these videos online about, oh, you know, this thing does this, and it works perfectly for me as this, you know, person who lives on an oil rig or something like that, which most people don't do. Most are like, oh, here's the coolest thing I got this week. Myself included sometimes. I try and do my best, but I'm not like, you know, I'm not necessarily blue collar, unfortunately. Or fortunately. Yeah, especially at first if you're like, I don't know if I'm someone who, you know, I can't recall the last time I needed pliers, but I feel like there's something that could be really helpful for me or whatever. Or, you know, I see a lot of people say, I should carry some fire with me in case you gotta be bushcrafting out in the middle of your city or whatever, like, oh, I need a flashlight because, you know, the one on my phone might not be enough. It's like, I think it takes a lot of time to figure out what you actually do and don't need, just through, you know, actually using it and going out and being like, hey, this thing has been in my pocket for a long time, but I haven't used it a single time. And that could suck to have happen, but it kind of means that you don't need to everyday carry it because you don't need it very often. But fortunately, you know, there's a zillion different EDC channels out there, and they'll all talk about, like, here's what works for me, or like, here's what I recommend and everything. And I wouldn't say take it all with a giant grain of salt, but you gotta also, like, take what they say and put it onto yourself and be like, well, am I the person who does those sort of things? Or, you know, it's easier said than done sometimes because these guys are really good salespeople and they can really get you excited about something that might just be like, you know, a piece of metal and they call it a pry bar, and I'm never going to hop on that train. But, you know, how often are you prying something? How often do you need to have this thick piece of metal to pry something open? Ask yourself these things. Ask yourself, like, well, would I rather just have a knife that can do one thing, or would I rather have something a little bit bigger that can do 7 different things? You know, these are the things you kind of want to have going through your head as you're being shown, like, the latest and greatest, you know, shiny object or whatever. I say look for the people like me who are more, you know, show and telling different types of things and doing their best to tell you how they actually work and function and what's good or what's bad about them, instead of them just being like, yeah, this thing's cool, it's the newest thing, go get it right now. Use my code, 10% off, John Garage, 10. But yeah, you know, if you take some time and look into that, it does not have to be that expensive. There's, again, tens of thousands of millions of people out there doing these whole, like, buy an EDC kit for under $50 or 75 or 100 or whatever it might be, and all you got to do is go find one of them, watch their video, and then watch 10 more, and then you might be able to triangulate some sort of idea for where to get started. Number 6 on my list is that there comes a point when you're not really doing stuff for EDC anymore. You're just doing, like, collecting. You're just collecting stuff. You know, here's Exhibit A, all my Swiss Army knives, all the knives I have, all the multi-tools. It's like, I don't need those. I was done with this a long time ago, yet these things kept coming in, or I kept thinking like, well, this thing is better than the other thing, but they all end up doing the same thing a little bit, just slightly different. I think the Swiss Army knives were especially bad. I don't know, it's just, a lot of them kind of do the same thing, but it's like, oh, this one might not have a saw on it, but this one has a file, or like this one has a scissors and this one doesn't, and stuff like that. And like, it's really easy to fall down this rabbit hole if you're just buying everything that comes out, which honestly I've kind of given up, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, there's some part of me that likes collecting these things, and as a bonus I get to go on my YouTube channel and review them, so it's not like a total waste. I'm not just totally throwing these things into a drawer and then forgetting about them forever. It's like, you know, they're living on forever online and in your hearts and in mine. And I do open up the drawers every once in a while just to take a loving look at my collection that I've grown. But no, I absolutely do not need it for my everyday carry. It's all kind of a waste beyond the point of just collecting it and being able to look at it and be like, yeah, that stuff's cool. I like it. I like having it. It's mine. My own. My precious. So at the end of the day, just kind of ask yourself, you know, is this a necessity, this thing I'm about to buy, or is it just to fuel my hobby and to fuel the need to have something cool and new and shiny? And you won't always like the answer probably, but if you're truly just trying to do EDC and have something that helps you get through the day, it might help you save a little bit of money. But unfortunately, I think most people are too far gone at this point because they're just looking for cool stuff to get, and that's fine. I don't care. We have a short time on this earth, and even birds do it. Like crows go out and they collect little gadgets and gizmos plenty. Last but not least, number 7, you can chase perfection forever if you let yourself, but you will never find it. I'm sorry to tell you this, but you know, no matter what kind of EDC kit you put together, or what collection of tools you have or whatever, it's never going to be the perfect one. You're never going to be able to go out there and do everything you possibly could, or fix everything, or make every part of your day-to-day life better. You can do the best you can, but you're never going to do it all because it's just impossible. You can have a minimal kit like this that I'm not afraid to throw in my pocket, but there's going to be times out there where it's like, oh God, I needed a torque screw to do this thing, and I don't have it. You know, I needed a big old knife to be able to show off to people, but I can't because I don't have it. I just have this itty bitty one. It's things like that. It's like it's never ever going to be perfect. You're sacrificing something in some way or another. I mean, the whole idea of a multi-tool is sacrificing, like not having the full size tool. You know, it's kind of like a just in case type of thing, or it's like a supplement to the tools you do have, and it's like, oh, you know, just in case I need this thing, I do have it, and I'm not going to be totally out of luck. But it's always a compromise to something that's better. Just shoot for something that's efficient, streamlined, and still effective. You know, I think it goes back to point number 3, which said, don't take too much, but don't take too little. It's like, try and take just what you need. I guarantee you, if you're first starting out, you're going to be taking way more than you need. Hopefully you can make some less expensive mistakes by just doing some research and going and seeing what's out there and what other people have tried, and like really listening to the people who say like, I did this, it didn't work. If you're like me, it might not work for you. Really listen to those people, because they're trying to, I think, save you some money and give you a little bit of wisdom that can only be learned by doing things and telling people about those things. But yeah, you know, even if you had the perfect one, you're still going to want to experiment and do things, and it's going to take years to figure it out. I'm still figuring it out. Like, I know I said earlier, oh, I get the perfect EDC figured out, but no, it's still a process. And also, things in your life change. These are all just kind of a means to an end, and I don't think they should be an end to your wallet. They should just be a means to make your life easier and more enjoyable, and, you know, be able to let you spend time doing the things you actually want to do, which is just living life. Take everything I say with a huge grain of salt, but yeah, that's what I've learned in the last year of really diving deep into this whole EDC thing. And it's a lot of fun, and I love everyone watching, and thank you all for sticking around with me for the last year. It's been a blast, and I can't wait for the years to come that we spend together. But yeah, thank you guys again. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time on the next episode of John Garage.